It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
Right now, America needs creation, not destruction. Unelected deep state operatives who defy the voters to push their own secret agendas are truly a threat to democracy itself. No matter the color of our skin, we all live under the same laws. We all salute the same great flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God.
Oh, I don't think the audio was there, right? All right, can you guys hear me now? I'm sorry, I think I didn't have my audio on here. This is really weird. As always, we always have some kind of weird problems, right, with social media here, but this platform here. But anyways, I'm hoping you guys can. Yep, the sound audio check. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me now, right? So as I was saying, I was live with you guys earlier, you know what I mean? And now I'm using my program to go live. I'm going to present to y'all some a video that I found very interesting and we can watch together. Yeah, thank you, Adam. I know I was like, what's going on with my sound? Something's up, you know, something's always up when I'm trying to do this. Anyways, but thanks for letting me know, guys. Scott, what's going on? Adam, what's going on? Diane, what's going on? 80, what's going on? Haiti, April, what's going on? Shayla, Patricia, Pam, what's going on? Randy, what's going on? Okay, Lola, Nedra, and Janice, and I have many people here. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get to this video because I found it very interesting to watch. And let's see, we can all talk about it during this video. This is, by the way, by an ex, I believe, Sarge that served, you know, in our country. So we're going to go ahead and hear what he's got to talk about. And he was talking really great stuff. And by the way, thank you for sending me that video. Like I said, I have a lot of people who send me so many videos, and I'm sorry I can't get to all of them at once. But today I was like, I better get to work, and I really, you know, start watching these videos and start sharing them. So here we go. Maybe you already seen it. Maybe you haven't. Aaron, Frank Tank, just saw you without the shades. You look great. I don't know if you guys like this or The thing is that I would love to put on my other glasses, but I have that big bright light, and it bothers my eyes, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you want, I have the glasses here, and this is me with the glasses, right? But unfortunately, the problem is that I have this big bright light, and it really messes my eyes, and I can't really see that much there. So, take them off, and I'm going to have to put the shades on. It's not that I'm trying to avoid you guys. You already know when I come back in here, I'm going to try to fix that problem. Maybe I need to get some, maybe another light that's not so darn bright, or maybe I have to do something with the settings. I'll figure it out later, because I know you guys are used to seeing me with you were used to seeing me with sunglasses, right? And now I've been with you guys with normal glasses here, right? But I seen glasses, but it is what it is, guys. You know what I mean? And let's get right into it. All right. By the way, if you guys would like to come to the show, come into my live stream, even from here, okay, it's possible to do so. If you have something you want to share with us today, or anytime I'm here, feel free. I said communication is the key. I have a way to do it. All you got to do is message me and say, Frank, I want to go live. I got something, I got something I want to share with everybody. And the way I'll do it is I'll go ahead and check my inbox. I'll make sure it's on for alerts, and I'll go ahead and send you the link. If you have an Android or iPhone, all you got to do is just click on the link. If you have iPhone, click on Safari. Make sure the link opens up on Safari. If you have Android, make sure the link opens up on Chrome. Okay, and it will ask you for a name, whatever name you want to use, and also the password will be included. So all you got to do is sign in, and whenever you're ready, you turn on your camera, and then I could just, bring you on live. So let's go ahead and get on with the video, guys, and here we go.
Good morning. I'm Sergeant Robert Horton, United States Army Special Operations. I was a psychological operations specialist from 1999 to 2012, and I'm also a son of the American Revolution. Now, everyone is wondering about this Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller story. And everybody wants to know what in the world is going on with that. What does it mean, right? Okay, but to understand what it means, you have to understand what's going on planet Earth that you all need to be made aware of, so you can understand what it is these guys are talking about, okay? So I'm going to go back to the beginning. This is a very old Masonic system that's operating here on planet Earth, and it is all based upon shipping and postal wars that have morphed into banking wars. Okay, so the three really work together hand in hand, but the banking warfare has really kicked off here as of late in relation to this whole thing. So when you're born here on this planet, you are born of the water, right? Because this is a shipping war. You're all captured in a shipping warfare that you're unaware of, that you've been captured into. So when you're born of your mother's water. And you are docked as a vessel by a doctor, who is a registered harbor master by the port authorities and authorized by the Department of Transportation. And when you are docked by the doctor, you are then harbored in the harbor in a vessel in dry dock known as a hospital, which is considered to be a boat parked on the land. Okay? But when you're born and harbored by the harbor master in this vessel in dry dock, you are considered a ward of the state. So you are placed into a maternity ward. Why are you a ward of the state? Because you have not yet been brought under the laws of this old school Masonic system. Now, how they get you into this old school Masonic system is with the birth certificate. So you're considered a ward of the state, or an outlaw, because you're not yet under the laws of the old Masonic system, until your mother signs a birth certificate. This is a commercial instrument, okay? This is saying that you are now owned and under the laws of this Masonic system, but you are owned, and that you are nothing more than a piece of cargo or a vessel or a dead person that's presumed to be missing, dead, or lost at sea, right? Once you're legged into this massive corporate construct, and it's a global construct, you are then subject to the laws of the state. State of affairs, not state of California or state of Nevada. We're talking global state of affairs. You're legged into the state.
It's in favor of the banks. It's certainly not in favor of the people. What happens when you have a child is your child is given a Social Security number. They estimate how many taxes your child is going to pay over his or her lifetime. And they take that birth certificate and they issue it on the capital markets and they earn money on it.
Once that happens, you are then under the laws of this entire global construct.
I'm saying something much worse, actually. What I'm saying is that when every citizen goes into the court system, they are not seen there as themselves a U.S. citizen. They're seen as the person who had their birth certificate pledged. You're there as a debtor. You're not there as a citizen. We have been converted from human beings that are citizens of the Republic of the United States into chattel. Chattel, that is a legal term for something which is property. We are now considered to be property of the Federal Reserve. We're not considered to be human beings and citizens of the United States.
These are the pillars of the laws of this global construct: admiralty and maritime, and civil jurisdiction. Law of the sea, law of the land. Law of the sea has always been held by the King of Great Britain. Okay, that's how he runs his entire country. It's considered a vessel, a great big boat, and all the people in that boat are considered to be missing, dead, or presumed lost at sea with their birth certificate system. That's how he runs his whole country. And that's the same thing we're doing here in the United States. Why? Because Great Britain has always been our postmaster general here in the colonies and the 50 states. Now let me explain what Postmaster General of the world is. Okay, this is our vessel. This is planet Earth. This is the vessel that we're all floating around on in this sea of space we call the solar system or the galaxy. This is our outpost, right? Our boat. The Postmaster General, or the General of the Post, is Great Britain. Always has been. This is an old school Masonic warfare platform, planetary warfare platform based upon shipping, postal, and banking wars. Okay, I've explained the shipping to you. The postal revolves around timelines. When you're brought into a jail, the timelines kick off, whether it's a federal offense, state offense, or local offense. Different venues have different timelines, okay, and there's several. His whole system is enforced in the courts around the world. This whole system is enforced in the courts, and what they're enforcing is the elemental chart, his strategic metals contract, his styles manual, and the dictionary, which is basically the entire system all of us are using, the grammatical construct we all use. All of these contracts and this entire system is enforced in the courts around the world. Those are called the neutral ports. That's where the wars are fought in relation to this entire matter, right? If you got a grievance, you go into the courts or the neutral ports and you fight it out. But this thing is set up to make sure that he always wins, okay? This entire system is set up so that you never win. All they look at you as is a piece of cargo, a boat or a vessel that can be harvested, raped, plundered, and pillaged for its goods. So this is the old school Masonic system that these guys have set up, and this is what is being defended on planet Earth, okay? This whole system belongs to the King of Great Britain, or is run and defended by the King of Great Britain. Okay, so he is the Postmaster General of the world. All of the countries on planet Earth are utilizing and playing with this system. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're in Russia, China, or Germany. If you get married here in the United States, you're still considered to be married in Russia, China, or Germany. If you get divorced, you're considered divorced all over the world, right? Because the courts are all connected. Everybody's playing this game. It's a big, old school Masonic system. that they utilize to control the people and run the planet with. This is the old school monarchical system that commands and controls the entire planet, or at least is attempting to. All of the countries on planet Earth are utilizing this Masonic warfare platform, okay? And as they are all high-ranking Masons, all of them, okay? Not Masons in the form of guys who are setting up sidewalks and driveways, okay? They're not those type of Masons. These Masons build governments. They build them and they defend them. The contracts that I pointed out that the King of Great Britain has, all the countries have those same contracts. They all have their own strategic metals contract in place that allows them to print and mint their own coinage based upon their banking system, okay? Everybody has commodities that they trade around the world with each other, and that's what those banking systems are based upon. Oil being one of the biggest. And the King of Great Britain is the reigning monarch on the planet. That's why he is the Postmaster General of the world. What we're going to look at is where the crown derives its authorizations or its authorities that their entire system is based upon. Okay, real quick, let's go back and recover some American history, okay? Back when the colonies were founded, there was 13 colonies originally. And before the American Revolution broke out, our post office was the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania Post Office, the Benjamin Franklin Post Office, okay, or Postal Court, which is here. And once the American Revolution had broke out, the king had cut off our ability to conduct international trade and commerce out of that post office because we went to war against Great Britain, right? So the war, all wars vacate that kind of contract. So our shipping was cut off. After the American Revolution, we couldn't open commerce back up through this post office because we owed 1.6 million francs to the French for funding the American Revolution. So at that point, the King of Spain and the King of France argued over who was going to be the Postmaster General here in the United States to open it up to international trade and commerce. Right? Spain said that they had found America first. Christopher Columbus had discovered the New World first, and so they had rights to it. France said that without loaning America the 1.6 million francs, the United States wouldn't even be open for capture. But the King of Great Britain, still being the reigning monarch in the world, said those are my people, and I'm going to put my post office in up there and open this thing up to trade and commerce. You guys need to stand down. So that's how he became the Postmaster General of the United States. And the Canada location has always been attached to that postal location as well. So the King of Great Britain took tactical command and control of the entire North American continent in the process. So if the other reigning monarchs and dictators of the world wanted to come into our country, or the United States, and rape and pillage it for its natural resources and its goods, they'd have to go through him and his post office to do so. So everything that was shipped in and out of the country, all trade and commerce, he got a piece of through that post office. Just like he did down in the East Indies. He is taking tactical command and control of the movement and shipment of all goods on planet Earth. That's his end goal. Okay, now there was a long-range objective that had been placed into motion here by the Crown, the Vatican, and London City and the Rothschilds, okay? And the reason the American Revolution had kicked off was because the United States wanted to float its currency into the global market. And because they based their monetary system on the value of the land, it never fluctuates. It's a solid base, right? But the Rothschilds fluctuate gold and silver up and down in relation to what they have going on. And because our currency doesn't fluctuate, when these guys would drop the price of gold down, America could buy it up and eventually would become the global power on the planet. So the Rothschilds attacked the Crown, and the Crown said, you guys can't do that, and as a matter of fact, this is war against me, and I'm not going to let that happen. So that was the reason for the American Revolution. But the long-range objective was to get the United States to borrow money from these guys in an effort to surrender them back to Great Britain. And how that was going to work was you only get 3 chances to pay off the debt that you borrow from these guys. And if you can't pay it off, then the Crown will step in, pay the debt to these guys off for you and then capture you back as part of his system or part of Great Britain. And you'd all become peasants and serfs again. And this entire thing revolved around the year 1999. This is an event horizon year, not just for the United States, but for the entire planet. Okay, so when the colonies had come out of the American Revolution and the king stepped in as Postmaster General for the United States, the U.S. Constitution was drafted, okay? And the U.S. Constitution outlined how the king's government was going to interact with the colonies in relation to international trade and commerce. Okay, and this thing was seen by Patrick Henry and the colonials as so tyrannical that they created the Bill of Rights, outlining, or I should say, laying out what it was that the King of Great Britain and that federal government, the Fed, would never have the power to infringe upon, because they knew that this king was so tyrannical, eventually he would enforce his authority into the states' territories and try to tell you what you couldn't say, what you couldn't write, right? The freedom of the press, that you couldn't bear arms, you wouldn't have the right to defend your country. So those things were all outlined here in the Bill of Rights, and those are the things the king would never have the power to infringe upon, ever. It was done. It was the only thing that ratified the U.S. Constitution. And they were not going to sign it. The colonials refused to sign it until these guys, the Fed, accepted this outline. The reason that 1999 is an event horizon year is because in 1999 was the end of the third and final international bankruptcy for the United States. And we were going to be surrendered back over to Great Britain because we couldn't afford to pay the debt to London and the Rothschilds and the 13 banking families off. But that meant that the U.S. Constitution had come to an end. It was over. It was the end of the third and final international bankruptcy, and the contract between us and Great Britain expired.
And then they incorporated the United States as a company, and they made the President of the United States the Chief Executive Officer, and they made the representatives of Congress managers. And so when people come to Congress, they're taught very quickly that their constituents are not what it's all about. What it's all about is for them to get on the dole of the federal government, which is there to enslave the people who live in the United States. That's what that is.
So what does that mean the U.S. Constitution had come to an end? Well, it was the end of the third and final international bankruptcy for the United States. And with the end of the third and final international bankruptcy, the King of Great Britain had to vacate the position as Postmaster General due to international banking law. And the trustee between us and Great Britain, or the bankruptcy, has always been the President of the United States. Well, if there's no more bankruptcy, then there's no more need for a trustee. The agreement with us and Great Britain is over. So, no bankruptcy, no trustee. So in 1999, there should not have been a presidential election held. The U.S. Congress should have been shut down. The Senate should have been shut down. Everybody should have been fired. And we should have held a new constitutional convention and resubstantiated the entire government from the ground up. And they never told the American people about any of it. Now, with the end of the American Revolution, the United States didn't have a strategic metals contract in place. Okay, we weren't allowed to print and mint our own coinage, so we had to borrow it from these guys, from the Rothschilds and London City, authorized by the Crown, because the Crown has a strategic metals contract in place, and that's what we've been utilizing. In 1933, with the Great Depression, actually 1929, is when the beginning of the third and final international bankruptcy had started, or the end of the second had come to an end. Because we were borrowing money from these guys over here, we're now in usury with this system. Okay, so that is how we're captured in usury with these guys over here. We're using their money. We're not allowed to make or create our own. And as a matter of fact, we're borrowing it and paying it back with interest in hard natural assets. Okay, all of this is going somewhere, okay? This is all going back to David Windmiller and Russell J. Gould and what they have done to the planet that everybody needs to be made aware of. But before we get into that, you have to understand what it was they ran headlong into that they had no idea was going on the planet, okay? That pretty much stopped what they were doing right in its tracks, and vice versa. Okay, so this is where the banking warfare and the warfare against the United States really kicks off. Back in 1933, Roosevelt was in office, and a Nazi coup inspired and led by Gerald McGuire, backed by Prescott Bush, J.P. Morgan, Remington, and Goodyear, were trying to get Roosevelt out of office. And what they did was they tried to elicit the help of General Smedley Butler of the United States Marine Corps in an effort to help them get Roosevelt out of office. They figured that with Butler's influence over the American soldiers that he could assemble 500,000 men and help them get Roosevelt out.
Let me warn you, and let me warn the nation against the smooth evasion that says, of course we believe these things. We believe in social security. We believe in work for the unemployed. We believe in saving homes. Cross our hearts and hope to die. We believe in all these things. But we do not like the way the present administration is doing them. Just turn them over to us. We will do all of them. We will do more of them. We will do them better. And most important of all, the doing of them will not cost anybody anything.
Thank God for Smedley Butler. He blew the whistle, and their plan failed. However, these corporate heads, J.P. Morgan, Remington, Goodyear, and the others, were never indicted for this treasonous act. And so it continued on in the shadows. From there, it's been one long-range orchestrated event to get these guys into the White House. A few years later, Eisenhower comes into office. And under his watch, the CIA gets set up. And Eisenhower then gave a masterful speech on a conspiracy that he was worried about. And he told the American people, keep an eye on the military-industrial complex because he saw it as extremely dangerous.
Throughout America's adventure in free government, our basic purposes have been to keep the peace, to foster progress in human achievement, and to enhance liberty, dignity, and integrity among peoples and among nations. To strive for less would be unworthy of a free and religious people. Progress toward these noble goals is persistently threatened by the conflict now engulfing the world. It commands our whole attention, absorbs our very beings. We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method. Unhappily, the danger it poses promises to be of indefinite duration.
Under Eisenhower's watch, the Five-Star Trust was set up by the CIA. The Five-Star Trust consisted of 5 top men, those being George Bush Sr., Richard Armitage, General Edward Lansdale, William Colby, and General Robert L. Ferreira. Those were the 5 guys that ran the Five-Star Trust for the CIA. Now what the Five-Star Trust was, their objective was to set up the largest drug and money laundering system the world had ever seen. And it was called Operation Studebaker and Operation Clean Broom, which was the money laundering systems into the operation. And that was ran out of Kentucky by Marion Horn. a gentleman named Marion Horton. The main objective of this operation was to create money for the CIA so they wouldn't have to go and ask Congress for money. Doing so might divulge plans the CIA had going on. So they developed the largest drug and money laundering system the world has ever seen. The objective of which was to set up a drug running operation and then put all the money into a conglomeration of banks set up by the Rothschilds and the 13 banking families known as the Five Star Trust. That is Lucifer's Sustainable Development Fund. Okay, that's Lucifer's piggy bank. I'm just going to say it. So, once this all got set up, Kennedy came into office. And Kennedy warned us of a massive conspiracy that scared him so bad, he created U.S. Special Forces.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
And he began working for the people to try to get the Federal Reserve out of here and get us back on a silver standard.
And that is, we can have honest, solid currency, like what President Kennedy was doing 10 days before he was assassinated.
Unfortunately, John F. Kennedy was murdered for his efforts. Eventually, George Bush Sr. becomes head of the CIA. And Reagan takes office. And sees this whole thing going on and warns the American people about it. He made several speeches warning the American people about the same thing Eisenhower and John F. Kennedy did.
Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better red than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of it. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn they're spirits, not animals. He said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
He was talking about Christianity and how if we ever became an atheistic country or a socialistic dictatorship under an atheistic regime, the United States would go down. So he tried to do everything in his power he could to stop what was going on. And George Bush Sr. tried 5 times to assassinate Kennedy. That's all been declassified. Sometime after that, George Bush Sr. becomes President of the United States. Now, this was a long-range warfare objective to get here, and they finally got there. Once this drug and money laundering system was all set up, they were going to then empower the United Nations to institute a global tax on everyone. At this particular juncture, by then, there is $230 million quadrillion dollars in the Sustainable Development Fund that these guys are using as a black ops shadow government bank account. If they install a global tax on everyone in the world, how much bigger is this bank account going to get? At this point, the CIA was just going to be used to continue to go in and soften other countries up in a New World Order effort that was being launched out of the White House.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
The long-range objective. Now, this was all heading for the event horizon year of 1999. That's where this is all going. This is an event horizon year for the country and for the globe. Because once George Bush Sr. got in to be President of the United States, he saw the end of the third and final international bankruptcy coming, and he knew that the U.S. Constitution would dissolve, and the agreement between us and Great Britain would be dissolved at that point or voided and gone. The U.S. Constitution was going to be gone. So he went back to the crown, told his cousins what was going on, and they knighted him. The plan was to resubstantiate the U.S. Constitution so the king could still continue to oversee the international affairs in relation to shipping and commerce of the United States, and the New World Order would be launched out of Washington, D.C., and like I said, a global tax would be instituted by the United Nations, and their plans would be fulfilled. But before they can do that, they have to bring all the banks in under one banking system, under the Rothschilds banking system. So, the next objective, the Middle East. They got to go into the Middle East and get the oil. Why? Because there's only 9 banks left in the world that are not ran by the Rothschilds, 7 of which are in the Middle East. So if they go in and steal the oil, then the banks have nothing to create a banking system off of. They collapse, and then they got to borrow money from here. The warfare is real simple.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. The truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil there, it would be like Africa. Nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. We keep asking for people to intervene and stop it. And there's no question that the presence of petroleum throughout the region has sparked great power involvement. Whether that was the specific motivation for the coup or not, I can't tell you, but there's always been this attitude that somehow we could intervene and use force in the region.
After that, they got to go after Chavez in Venezuela. That's the last vestige. Then their plans really will be complete. However, in 1999, their plans were foiled. Like I said, this was an event horizon year. They weren't the only ones that saw this thing coming to an end. A simple review at the high school level, high school education, clearly details the fact that Great Britain and the Vatican had gotten together and had decided that the United States would never come to allow a one-world global dictator to rule their country. And everybody knows that the Vatican has always had an agreement with the Nazis. Not so much Germany itself, but the Nazi party up there in Germany, operating out of Germany. They tried to set up a one-world global dictatorship under Hitler a long time ago.
We are talking about the biggest thuggery of all, and that is the Jesuits in the Vatican. I always thought that the CIA was the problem and the other intelligence agencies. Guess what? There's a grand intelligence agency that the Vatican puts out, and all of those other crooks are operating under the Vatican intelligence agency.
This was a long-range effort by these guys to come up from the rear and accomplish this objective. Now, the plan of the CIA with the setup of the Five-Star Trust was that the 5 top gentlemen, or I should say men, that were going to run the Five-Star Trust for the CIA were going to take turns being the director of the CIA. So those 5 guys could stay in command and control of this entire operation. The objective is to set up a one-world global dictatorship with Lucifer at the top, running the United Nations. And this is the piggy bank they're going to utilize to achieve that objective. But thank goodness, in 1999, as I said, this all revolved around the international bankruptcy of the United States, which, thank goodness, left the Washington, D.C. postal location open for capture on November 2nd, 1999 for 18 days. There was an 18-day period in there that the Crown was going to have to vacate the position and the post office would be open, and the United States would no longer have the ability to conduct international trade and commerce, hence the Florida Chads. That's because in 1999, the U.S. Constitution had come to an end and was closed out with the end of the third and final international bankruptcy. With that, they had the Amero set, the American European dollar, and they were about to surrender the United States back over to Great Britain. However, in 1999, during that 18-day vacancy, a miracle had taken place. Now, anyone who's listened to Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Reagan make their speeches will know that these gentlemen have been warning us of a group of people on this planet who are literally conspiring together in an effort to try to get the United States military to go to war for them in an effort to set this one world global government up. Okay, and that's what they were warning us about. They said, we're a nation of peace. We have to remain and stay a nation of peace. There's a group of people out there who are trying to get us to surrender everything over to them so that they can utilize our military to go and achieve their world objectives. And that they were going to utilize or create some fanciful event that would allow them then to do that. And that's what we had with the Twin Towers event and the 9/11 episode. So they actually got what they finally wanted. That was an orchestrated event. There was never any terrorists, and terrorism itself is a fraud. You cannot have a war where there is no enemy. You don't have an enemy. Show me the enemy. There is no enemy. The enemies are, or the enemy is, anyone who does not go along with their new world order effort. That's who they're targeting, and that's who their terrorists are. This is a very simple warfare effort to follow. This entire soap opera is very easy to follow. The next thing they want are your guns, and they're going to come hard for them. They're going to come hard for guns here in America. That is the one thing that is stopping them from taking absolute, total, tactical command and control of this nation. And if they ever come for your guns, that is when you will have surrendered everything. They've already attacked your freedom of your right to choose, your freedom of speech, your freedom of the press, and now they're onto the Second Amendment. They are coming for our guns, but they will not get them. Anyone signing on to that kind of legislation, Nancy Pelosi being number one, wants to surrender your borders, take your weapons, force you to buy health care. These are your new world order extremists, okay? These guys are all working for Lucifer. They want a one world global dictator at the top. Who is it? It's Lucifer. We all know it. Biblical prophecy. Now, prior to 1999, there were two gentlemen who were working to get themselves out of the Masonic global government system that we've all been enslaved to through the birth certificate system. Those two men were Russell J. Gould and David Wynn Miller, or Russell-J. Gould and David-Wynn Miller. David-Wynn Miller was the one who broke the mathematical interface on math and grammar. And here's the equation for that. Anybody that's been out there and studying this, I'm not going to go too far into. Russell J. Gould was the individual who then imparted the now time aspect into this grammatical construct, thereby giving it its own jurisdiction. So at this point, they knew that they had a whole new system of grammar that the world had never seen, that now, being set up the way it was, needed to be utilized to create an entirely new government system off of. So they had to go all the way back to where the crown derives its authorities. They went back, all the way back into the Masonic books, and we'll just throw one out there, The Secret Teachings of Manly P. Hall, Secret Teachings of All Ages. They went back and they syntaxed this book and then rewrote it in this quantum construct, in this now time grammatical quantum construct. And they did that with all of the books, all of the Masonic books that are utilized to substantiate the Crown's authorizations here in the world, thereby giving their system its own venue. They've created an entirely new federal government system for the entire world to now join with. And it is a global federal government system, and it is based in truth. The entire system is based on mathematically certifiable grammar. It has its own elemental chart and periodic tables that one unwinds, creates a mathematical fact forward and backward in both directions. When this elemental chart and periodic table unwinds itself, it creates affinity loop or a figure 8, thereby validating itself forward and backwards, just like the grammatical construct does. This thing was genius. Knowing what these men had at their fingertips, all they needed was the right time and place in history to launch this thing and take the greatest leap of faith ever taken by any two gentlemen ever recorded in the history of this planet. Once this thing was all set up, the books that they had syntaxed, they had filed with the Vatican and the NSA and several other locations on planet Earth. And the Vatican had been studying it for 5 years prior to what eventually took place in 1999. Russell J. Gould, with the help of David Wynn Miller, in 1999 saw the end of the third and final international bankruptcy coming. And Russell, knowing what was about to take place here, ran down to the United Nations and asked the United Nations if they had a copyright and patent on the Title IV flag. Knowing that it didn't matter if they did or they didn't, the contract would have been found to have been in grammatical fraud and grammatical error. So he rewrote the copyright and patent for the Title IV flag for the United States because it was about to be surrendered back over to Great Britain along with the country at the end of the third and final international bankruptcy. So he takes off up to the United Nations with the Title IV flag in tow and legs this whole government system in. And there at the United Nations, he was declared a sovereign. In the process, he had just taken down the entire old monarch system, because once they reestablished those Masonic books, they had to resubstantiate all of them in a quantum grammar construct, thereby disqualifying the old system completely from the bloodlines on. And in that effort, have set this entire global government system up for the world. Russ then turns back around, and during that 18-day vacancy that post office was open, the king had to vacate due to international banking law for 18 days. Russell legs back in down here at the post office in Washington, D.C., taking tactical command and control of the United States and Canada, because that post office has always been attached to the D.C. location. And in doing so, he just brought to an end the New World Order effort to surrender the United States back over to the Crown, utilize the United Nations to install a global tax, because no one has a charter to exist anymore as a corporation under his authority. Everything has been disqualified. It's over. So prior to 1999, Russell J. Gould had rewritten a new U.S. Constitution, a Bill of Rights, a Declaration of Independence. He had resubstantiated the charter for all of the federal municipalities. He had captured the flag for the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Coast Guard, and resubstantiated the entire construct in a quantum global effort, or quantum global manner. Thereby in 1999, when he moved into the Washington, D.C. postal location, taking tactical command and control of the United States and the rest of the North American continent, the New World Order and the Crown didn't have authorization to send our military to war for them after 9/11 had occurred, because they didn't have the authorization to do so. They had been disqualified. It was over. But you got to remember, this was an act of patriotism on his part. This is a patriot for the country. This guy is from Wyoming. Okay? This guy's a patriot to the country. He saw the end of the third and final international bankruptcy coming. He knew we were about to be surrendered back over to Great Britain along with the flag, and it would hang like this in a surrendered manner. And he did his duty as a patriot. He stepped in where he needed to step in, and he saved the country and the flag from being surrendered. And he's still holding on to that Title IV flag for the people of this country and safeguarding it for the people of this country. Now, even more astounding was that prior to 1999 and him taking tactical command and control of Washington, D.C., he had built a brand new banking system. That's what this is. That is the banking system he put together. And at the same time as he legged into Washington, D.C., taking tactical command and control of the entire country, he legged this banking system in at the U.S. Treasury Department. So now we can get rid of the Fed. The Fed can go bye-bye. Shouldn't have been here since 1999. Once the charter expired and the bankruptcy had come to an end, the Federal Reserve did not have the authorization at that point to continue to print money for the United States, and the IRS was actually kicked out of the country because that was the collection agency for the debt. Well, if there's no more debt, there's no more need for an IRS. As a sovereign, he has a strategic metals contract that is based upon his elemental chart and his periodic table, giving him the authorization to print and mint his own coinage. This is the first time in the history of the country that this country actually has the power to print and mint its own coinage. We do not have to use the strategic metals contract of the old monarch. It's over. This was an act of patriotism. This was all due to the circumstances that revolved around the third and final international bankruptcy of this country coming to an end. And thank God we were saved. So after legging back in as Postmaster General here for the United States, he then proceeded to go around the world and reauthorize everything under his authority that would authorize or substantiate this system in its totality. So he had to go all the way back to the International Admiralty and Maritime Organization and reauthorize it under the Quantum Authority. He had to go back to the Universal Postal Union in Bern, Switzerland, and reauthorize it under his authority. He had to go back to the International Bureau of Weights and Measures and reauthorize it under his authority because he had just destroyed all banking and chemistry on planet Earth with this elemental chart and this periodic table in association with this system of weights and measures in conjunction with the grammar. He had to go back into the International Patent Office because this all has to be patented. So it disqualified all the old patents on planet Earth all the way back to the very, very beginning. So he had to resubstantiate all that. And all of that needs to be resubstantiated. Everybody's patent on all of their products now have to be resubstantiated in this quantum manner or under this quantum global construct and system. That way their patents can't be harvested, stolen by the old system any longer. They've all been saved. Everything has been saved. But he had to go around the planet and set this whole thing back up under his authority, all these locations. And what they ended up doing when the United Nations said, well, okay, but what land do you choose? They said, him and Dave said they choose the land of the courts during the time of the contract. Why? Because that is where the courts, or all of the contracts, are defended, is in the courts. Well, that's why Dave keeps talking about we own the land of the courts, because their system just took down the old system, and the old system was enforced in the courts. Well, this system now rules the courts. So if you bring your old grammatical system in there and your old contracts into the courts, and they're not done properly, correctly, and truthfully, using the quantum grammar construct, they are disqualified and nullified as grammar fraud and bank fraud. All of it, across the board. Now, after coming back into the United States, after having run this gamut, he came back into the United States, and when he did, the 5-Star Trust guys grabbed him up. Bush and the boys grabbed him up and literally beat the living shit out of this guy in an effort to get him to surrender that flag. These are the guys who have swept this all under the rug and have proceeded to move forward in their attempt to surrender the United States back over to the New World Order, or to Great Britain, finish constructing their New World Order, go into the Middle East, steal the oil. They're heading back down to Venezuela to get Chavez out of there so they can get his banking system closed down. And once they have it all under wraps, they will then present the mark of the beast to everyone. However, Russell J. Gould did not surrender the flag, and he did not surrender his position. They took him into court and they literally beat the hell out of this guy. on a couple of different occasions, and he won. And the Navy was behind him and supporting him all the way. We don't know what happened to that contingency. We can't speculate. We do have a couple of ideas. However, after 12 years of these guys not wanting to play ball and just do things correctly and move forward with this entire new global government system, Russell J. Gould, seeing that the Benjamin Franklin Post Office had now come out of bankruptcy, and had come out of bankruptcy in 1999, right? But nobody remembered it. Nobody saw it. So what he did was, when he came back into Washington, D.C. and filed the flag in there and legged in as the Postmaster General for the United States and as the new Postmaster General of the world, he rewrote a new U.S. Constitution between his government and ours. And it's the same version of the one we had with Great Britain. Only this one doesn't have the 1 million laws attached to it that finally were created by the Congress and the Senate in relation to this system, because we know there's always been two governments operating here, the King of Great Britain's and ours. That's why you get the two-party system, right? The Democratic and the Republican. So he rewrote the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It's still standing. The Declaration of Independence is still standing. And because they didn't want to move forward with it and wanted to keep going forward with this New World Order surrender effort in the year 2012, and on the date December 21st, 2012, end of the Mayan calendar, he legs back in down here at the Philadelphia Post Office in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Benjamin Franklin Postal Court or Post Office, and reopened the entire U.S. government back up for the people with a new U.S. Constitution, the same Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and it's all been quantized into this mathematical, grammatical fact. He saved the United States from surrender and takeover. He has saved the planet from a New World Order effort to conquer us. He has saved the planet from a New World Order effort under one man, a global dictator we all know as Lucifer, and has stopped them from being able to present the mark of the beast to all of us and attach us to this banking system as slaves. It's all been disqualified. It's all been shut down. It's over. The victory is ours. This is Our Lady of Victory. This is our victory. It's just being kept from the people of the United States and the people of the world, and they're just not telling you the story in this manner because they don't want you to know about this system. And they said every time it pops up, they are going to ridicule the shit out of it in every manner possible, because they said the American people are too stupid to believe, let alone understand any of this information. Now what he has done is he has purified the whore of Babylon and prepared her as the bride of Christ. And now he's got one foot in the sea, which is the Admiralty and Maritime Jurisdiction, which was held by the King of Great Britain up in Washington, D.C., and he has the civil jurisdiction law of the land, the terra firma the Admiralty footing and the terra firma footing, and he's bridging the gap, rapturing you out of the land of the dead, where you're once considered to be missing or presumed to be dead or lost at sea with your birth certificate system, ships you in through the Washington, D.C. postal location, out through the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania postal location, civil jurisdiction law of the land, where the blood testifies to the life, and you are brought back into the land of the living and saved. Your soul is saved. Your country is saved. You are saved. This is Our Lady of Victory. Now you got to remember, the New World Order wasn't waiting for God to send down the seventh angel to fix everything. Right? These guys are waiting for Lucifer to stand up and give everyone the mark of the beast. So what happened after 1999? What you had happen there was a private corporation move into Washington, D.C. to run the government for the people of the United States, and it was under the command and control of George Bush Jr., who then declared war on the Middle East after they dropped the trade centers in New York. This was an orchestrated warfare plan by this group, the same group that started here. Okay, this was the same group of folks that initiated this bombing. If there were ever any weapons of mass destruction, they would have used the weapon of mass destruction to bomb the World Trade Centers. They wouldn't have flown a plane into it or into them. So these guys ultimately got what they wanted. They got tactical command and control of the militaries to go fight their wars so they could set up their one world global government. The next administration that moved in 8 years later, once again, a private corporation. The first corporation was identifying itself with a 3x5 boat flag. It's not registered with the United Nations as the Title IV flag is, or any other flags around the world are. They're much longer. Okay, they're coffin flags. They're long enough to cover a coffin. The 3x5 boat flag is not. It's a replica of the Title IV flag. 8 years after this guy was in office, a second administration moves in to run the country, and they've got a 2.5 by 2.5 size flag. Obama. This is a Ken and Barbie flag. It's not registered with any country in the world, anywhere. You could buy it at Toys R Us. And as a matter of fact, I don't even think they sell them there. So this corporation comes in and says, yes, we can. Yes, we can what? Force you to buy health care? That removes your freedom of choice. So now they've attacked your freedom of choice, your freedom of speech, your freedom of the press, and now they're coming after your guns, your Second Amendment. They're just chipping away at it. Everything you guys are seeing broadcast on the television is a psychological warfare effort. The television is still registered by the FCC as an entertainment device. Nothing coming out of it has to be real or even is real. That's why you hear Trump today saying it's all fake news. Everything you guys are seeing is what these guys are broadcasting that they want you to follow. That is their global narrative. Okay, the global narrative is there's a war on terror. You can't have a war on fear. Fear, terror, spookiness. Okay, you can't have a war where there's no known enemy. The folks over there in the Middle East are just trying to simply fight off a foreign invasion and kick us out of their country. These guys are just trying to go in, crush the banks. They got to steal the oil out of there using the Caspian Sea pipelines. That's the overall objective. And that is their that's the global narrative. Well, in psychological operations or psychological warfare, tactical command and control of the global narrative is what we strive for. However, this is the global narrative now. This is our victory. This is our Lady of Victory, guys. It has defeated all of this across the board. We don't have to follow none of it. We've got to get these guys out of power here in the country. They don't have a flag. They don't have authorization. They don't have a charter that's been authorized correctly by the new Federal Postmaster General of the world. It's all been taken down, yet they still continue to move forward with their surrender back over to Great Britain or to the New World Order, this New World Order effort to create a one world global government with one person at the top. We all know it's Lucifer. They want your guns next. That is it. You're going to see it broadcast on the televisions. Anything they can drum up, any story whatsoever in relation to guns or a gun killing or a murder or anything, they are going to whip any little thing they can into a national frenzy. This again is psychological warfare. They're taking anything they possibly can and spinning it into a national issue, as though the whole nation is crying out, oh, take our guns, we shouldn't have guns. That's what they want you to think is being cried out for here in this country, when indeed it is not. It is being broadcast out of the televisions. It is a psychological warfare effort, and that is the last vestige. That's all they need here. And once you give that up, you will give up everything. Everything you got. They will take it from you. You see the people of Great Britain? What do they have? Nothing. They have absolutely nothing. That is what you will have. if they come and take your guns. You need to wisen up.
It really all depends on whether people understand that the media that is giving them disinformation is owned by the Federal Reserve and this system of control. And it's really up to humanity to realize that they're being hoodwinked, that when they turn on the news and they get the news from the mainstream media, they're just being fed propaganda.
This is the very thing Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, and President Ronald Reagan warned the United States about. Do not surrender. Never surrender. Never surrender your beliefs. Never surrender your morality. Never surrender your Christian beliefs and your faiths. Never surrender. We are a nation of peace. And this entire system was defeated through peace. Thank God. And thank God for the seventh angel for bringing it down. You know, there's a lot of people in our country who claim to be heroes. And there's a lot of men out there, women out there that serve in the armed forces that are heroes. We never should have gone to war in the Middle East. It was whipped up by a New World Order crew. Well, now it's time for some real heroes to actually step up to the plate and defend this entire system. And that's what we're looking for. Where are you?
They believe in perpetual imbalance. They want to have artificially created crises around the world that will further increase their wealth.
They also believe in manufactured crises and permanent wars, because wars are profitable, and the more that are fought, the wealthier they get. They want absolute control of education, to program the public mind, to train those chosen for various roles, and to train others to be compliant.
They want centralized control of education. They want us all to be learning their propaganda.
One size fits all. The size they determine, the size they want, the size that benefits them at the expense of everybody else.
They want centralized control of foreign and domestic policies. They want the United Nations to become the world government. They want United Nations taxes.
They want the UN to act as a de facto world government, imposing a UN tax on everybody in the world.
They want expanded trading blocs such as NAFTA and the European Union to reduce the importance of individual countries and of individuals to have control over their destinies.
They want global trade policies, rules that they make that benefit them and again that harm everybody else. A global WTO, World Trade Organization. Again, they make the rules, nobody else does.
They want to expand NATO and other regional military forces, again to weaken the power of individual countries.
They want NATO to be a global world enforcer. Challenge them, and NATO will ravage your country, murder your children, enslave you, destroy your country, to turn it to rubble. That's the role they want NATO to play. That's the perfect Bilderberg world. They make the rules, everything goes the way they want. Anybody dissented, kill them. That's the Bilderberg world.
Eric, can you be specific about when you met Rockefeller, how it happened in these discussions?
I met Rockefeller through a female attorney I knew who called me up one day and said, one of the Rockefellers would like to meet you. I had made a video called Mad as Hell, and he'd seen the video and wanted to meet me and knew I was running for governor of Nevada. So sure, I'd love to meet him. And I met him and I liked him, and he was a very, very smart man. And we used to talk and share ideas and thoughts. And he's the one who told me 11 months before 9/11 ever happened, that there was going to be an event. Never told them what the event was going to be, but there was going to be an event, and out of that event, we were going to invade Afghanistan to run pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We were going to invade Iraq, to take over the oil fields, establish a base in the Middle East, and make it all part of the New World Order. And we'd go after Chavez in Venezuela. And sure enough, later 9/11 happened, and I remember he was telling me how how you're gonna see soldiers looking in caves for people in Afghanistan and Pakistan and all these places, and there's going to be this war on terror, which is no real enemy, and the whole thing is a giant hoax, but it's a way for the government to take over the American people.
He told you it was going to be a hoax.
Oh yeah, there's no question. He says there's going to be war on terror, and he's just laughing. There's no who are we fighting? 9/11 was done by people in our own government and our own banking system to perpetuate the fear of the American people and to subordinating themselves to anything the government wants them to do. That's what it's about, and to create this war, this endless war on terror. This was
11 months before 9/11.
Yeah.
And Nick Rockefeller, he's a lawyer. He's become your friend over the previous years, and he's saying to you that there's going to be this big event, and then out of that we're going to have a war on terror, and it's just going to go on and on.
Right, an endless war on terror without any real enemy. That you can never define a winner.
And did he say that it's going to be perfect because you can't define an enemy? It just goes on and on.
Yeah, because you can't define a winner. There's no one to beat, so it goes on and on forever. And they can do whatever they want. They scare the hell out of the American public. Look, this whole war on terror is a fraud. It's a farce. It's very difficult to say it out loud because people are intimidated against saying it. Because if you say it, they want to make you into a nutcase. The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one-world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is given me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what you sell.
Everything is in there. And so they want a one-world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people. And you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal. That's their intention.
So, I mean, it really almost makes you ask the question, would it have been better if we never invented the internet?
Now, this is exactly what we're doing. This is exactly what we're seeing. After the Twin Towers were dropped, we went right into Afghanistan, and this is an oil robbery, guys. There's no weapons of mass destruction over there. That's all bullshit. Full-blown bullshit. There were never any weapons of mass destruction over there. The United States military was duped. We're being led by psychopaths, idiots, morons, banksters, greedy bastards, and crazy people. Our military needs to be brought home, and we need to start working on the borders here and cleaning these senior offices out. That's what U.S. Special Forces was created for. That's why Kennedy created them, to liberate the oppressed. Well, that's us, guys. We're being oppressed by this entire system. And that's when he created you. He told you that there was a conspiracy so vast that it scared the shit out of him. and he created U.S. Special Forces to help clean it out. Okay, so that's your job up there, SF. It's not going around and doing the things you're doing, guerrilla warfare tactics in other countries. You're supposed to be helping clean these banksters and these mobsters and these gangsters out of the United States, out of senior offices, and if necessary, go state to state to train the militias, the National Guard and the state militias. The people are to assemble, and that is their duty. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And that is because if the government ever becomes tyrannical, or the administration up there, the federal administration, which is a contract government, right? A contract system. If it ever becomes tyrannical and tries to invade and force its authority into the state's territories, it is to be stopped and replaced, if necessary, completely. Well, now we have the opportunity as a nation, thanks to David Wynn Miller and Russell J. Gould, who have established a brand new federal system, a global federal government system. They're the only guys in the history of the world to ever do this. Pull this off, gentlemen. And it's high time we took a damn good look at it once again. And it's time that we bring these guys forward and start talking to them. Unfortunately, we can't bring Dave forward. It's a travesty. The gentleman has died. But Russell J. Gould is still here. And he is who he is. And the American people need to be made aware of the situation. They need to be made aware of this quantum grammar construct and the magnitude and gravity, size and scope of what it is he set up. And it needs to be recognized by the military, by the rest of the NCO chain of command, so that the enlisted personnel understand it as well. This can't be held a secret anymore by the senior levels and kept hidden at the senior levels. This thing's got to come forward. It's our saving grace. This is what the people of the world have been screaming about. It's what they've been praying about. It's biblically prophesied to come forward, and it's here. Why are we keeping this a secret? Why are we not moving forward with this? I ask you. What the hell are we doing on planet Earth as a group of men? Right? Because I'm not a boat or a vessel. I sure the hell don't belong to somebody else, and I sure the hell am not someone else's piece of cargo that they're going to rape, plunder, and pillage, and allow me to only make what I make just so I can barely scrape by. Alright, that shit's over. We need to take a look at his banking system. It's a 10% flat tax, and that seriously needs to be brought forward as soon as possible. This Federal Reserve shit's out the door. Okay, they do nothing but work to enrich themselves. And I'm hoping that with the military up there in Washington D.C. that Donald Trump and these guys are planning to bring this whole system that Miller and Gould set up forward. That's what we're hoping for. A bunch of us are hoping for it. Everybody's watching, okay? And from what we understand, that is the plan. But if it is the plan, why have they not brought him forward into the public sector yet and introduced him and told everybody what's going on? Because Iran and Iraq and that is not that big of a deal. This is spun up horseshit, okay, over there in the Middle East. There's nothing going on over there. This is all orchestrated, every bit of it. And it needs to come to a stop. Because these psychopaths aren't running this world anymore. It's over. And they know it. They've been defeated across the board with this quantum system. And if we're not careful, they're going to steal it. Every bit of it, lock, stock, and barrel. And use it to put the screws back down on the people. When in actuality it was created to take the screws off the people. Lift all the laws. It's a blank slate again, guys. Commander Gould rebuilt the U.S. Constitution. First things first, right? U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence. It's all been quantized. It's there. But it just doesn't have the 2 million laws that these jackals up in D.C., the Congress and the Senate, attached to it later to bilk the shit out of us, to harvest us as the harvest, right? I'll pay 10% to the church and I'll pay 10% in taxes. Flat tax on whatever I buy. But I'm not paying no income tax, no 10% income tax. And it's worse than that. It's at like 1/3. They're taxing us for 1/3 of our income. 1/3 of your income. That's a house payment every month for most people. Right? I paid for a house. Where's my house? The American people deserve better. It's out there. It's waiting. God brought it down. It's sitting. And it needs to be recognized by the people of the United States. I'm asking you guys. Do your due diligence. Research all of this. Watch their videos. Listen to them speak. They're going to tell you exactly what I've laid down here for you already. They set up an entirely new corporate federal government system. And it's global. And it took down all that it took down on the planet and replaced it all. It purified the whore of Babylon and prepared her as the bride of Christ. It's the exact same system we're using now. It's just been purified of all of the loopholes and all of the bullshit, right, that they've been using to enrich themselves. It works for them, but it doesn't work for me, right? Or they know how the loopholes work, so when I go in to try and get myself out of whatever debacle I'm in, I don't know the loopholes. It's all foreign to me. They don't teach me this in school. They don't teach our children this at the grade school level and bring them up through high school and into college knowing this stuff so that they can conduct operations on their own in a manner here in the world that is best for not just themselves but for the people they're working with and for, right? Man to man, person to person, spirit to spirit, soul to soul, right? And this grammar system does that. The contracts allow you to do that. The grammar allows you to do that. The entire government construct allows us to do that. And that's the beauty of this thing. So please, do your due diligence, get involved, take a look at this thing again, and let's bring it forward. Let's get together as a group of military men on this planet, and let's bring it forward, and let's push. Thank you.
Well, the very first thing I would say is go out and buy silver and gold coins because we still have Federal Reserve notes and those pieces of paper are toilet paper. That is the very first thing that you should do because you do not want your family not to have currency. And what you currently have is not worth anything. That's why the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are no longer paying for their international trade in dollars. Governments are no longer holding the Federal Reserve notes. We need to be you need to do your homework as citizens and find out what it means when you have Federal Reserve notes. They're valueless and they are unconstitutional, and we need to get that outfit out of here. That's the very first thing. And then the second thing is that we have to all work together to clean up the mess. And I don't think it's going to be that hard, actually, to get our republic back.
Wow, that was powerful. That was Leroy, right? I believe. I want to just thank Christy for sending that video. And she did post a link, guys. She posted the link there for you guys. It's it's at right now. You can find this on Rumble. Okay, she has a link. Hopefully, she can repost it again for you guys. But let me tell you, not too many people are snooping on Rumble. You know what I'm saying? So it is my job to try to spread information as much as I can through this page. And I have my website as well. So I'm gonna upload it on YouTube. Okay. So if you have not gone to my page on YouTube, go ahead and start subscribing. Okay. I don't know if you guys have my go to my website and you'll find all my links there and all my direct links to my Facebook account, Instagram, and also YouTube, and my website, of course, which I have another powerful video there. Now, I'll talk about this video in just a little bit, and these are my only thoughts on him. You know what I mean? Everything this man said, Leroy, was just definitely, he has made his homework really deep, deeper than what I even thought. After watching this video, I've been after trying to comprehend, what's really happening with this whole organization, but he goes all the way from the top of the pyramid I mean, he went way on the top that I haven't even dig that deep yet. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tell you something. All right. Where I'm at right now is understanding the secret societies and how all of these people are working together, turning one way, you know what I'm saying? And working as I mean, like if you know, they sworn, they have their own oaths to the devil, and we know that. So the only thing is that, I don't know if I heard, correct me if I'm wrong. He seemed like we already won this, or we have it under control. And then again, afterwards, he said, no, we need everybody's help. He's addressing it to our military, because our military needs to wake up. Honestly, that's going to be, God is first. And then, we hope that God, opens up our military, shines that light through them, and they understand that this is not, one more time. That's why I don't like you guys doing this. Don't do it in this page, please. You know what I mean? Forget this little Democrat versus Republican crap already, because it's not about politics here. This is a serious matter that everybody needs to wake up. I don't care if you voted for Joe Biden's administration or you voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that this is the problem that we have right now, and huge problem that, of course, it's coming from Joe Biden's administration, because they are linked to it. They are the opening to it. They're connecting to it. You know what I'm saying? The New World Order is not a conspiracy theory for the last time. People need to really understand that this is the devil's plan, and it's been planned for many years. It's been said that the Bible even talks about it. Now, the way it ends is it's biblical. The mark of the beast has to come, guys. And I don't know, but it's biblical. Now, if we're gonna take what he's talking about, and everything he said was deep and right, correct. I believe him. I truly believe him. And he pretty much sketched it out for us like, wow, the banks, the Federal Reserve, everything's all connected. It's just crazy. We've been in debt with these trillionaires, with the Rothschilds, right? That's what pretty much I'm understanding here. You know what I'm saying? All the banks and all the systems, they own it. They are working through this fake money that we're receiving, right? So with that being said, how do they organize themselves? Okay, secret society, simple. They own them all. It's under them. They are the ones who put the United Nations there. They're the ones who put the WHO. The whole idea of this whole thing is a new, it's just a global control. That's all it is. Global control. One capital being probably the UN or China, one of them. So now, I'm not going to waste my time to fight against people that come in here and try to, talk about, oh no, it's about left or right now, because that doesn't matter. Look, I'm going to tell you. He pointed out John F. Kennedy. All right. For all the hypocrites that, or all the people, the nut hits, all right, that, want to talk about, oh, I'm a Democrat and I'm a Democrat. Look, nut hits. We understood and we understand that your own Democrat president, okay, which he was considered our president. Well, not in my time, but maybe in those times, have warned us that this was happening. Thanks to him. Okay. Was he a Republican? No, he wasn't. Was he a Democrat? Yes, he was. So put down the excuses right now. Put down the stupidity of, oh no, it's just the Democrats or it's only the Republicans. Wipe that out, because I see the comments and it pisses me off every time I'm hearing this page that people are fighting about stupidity right now, when you should be listening exactly and doing your, research, deep research. You know what I mean? About what's really happening right now. It's involving your future. It's involving your kids. It's involving your children. It's way beyond. The control is real. What they want to get down is really, really, really real. This is not about an election. We could have had some other president, and it didn't have to be Trump. If he was on the right path trying to do this for our country, I would have been for it. I don't care if he would have been a Democrat, for God's sake. But aren't you guys opening up? Isn't people opening up their eyes, really? How this whole thing works with, it's a triangle. It's a triangle. Now, a lot of people have been saying this, you know what I mean? They've been talking about this for years. Man, I'm still listening to a video from the 1950s. Okay. You know, when they were speaking about the secret societies and Freemasonry, like how they had to plan, how they were controlling all this stuff. John F. Kennedy he found everything, you know, he was like, this is going south. This is going wrong, you know, and he warned, and look at what would happen to him. Now, he was no Republican. He was a Democrat, and he got killed. He got assassinated. So my liberal friends, okay, and friends from the right, whatever you want to say, wake up and start getting that computer and do your damn research. Go deep. That's all you got to do. Stop the nonsense already. You know what I mean? Stop the nonsense. This is not going the way you thinking it's going to go. All right? It's not the way there's a lot coming. Now, biblically, if you believe in God and you believe in the Bible, it says, and I'll read to you, these things are still going to come regardless, I believe, you know what I mean? Because it's biblical. And if not, look, I just stumbled upon some verses here, okay? I'm going to start with this one from Daniel. Thus he said, as for the fourth beast, there shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth and trample it down and break it to pieces. That kingdom is the Antichrist, the capital, you know, the New World Order kingdom. That's what I believe that kingdom to be. Another one from Revelation. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the numbers of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is, you guys know, 666. Now, with that being said, guys, right there in those verses, that should really wake the heck out of you up to say, what are these people doing that is really, that is really matching these verses? Okay, number one, contact tracing is a form. You know, we have many, many forms of the mark of the beast, right? But when it goes into your skin, that's another story. Hasn't Bill Gates, part of the, what is it? The WHO and part of the, also, in accordance to the United Nations plan and everything, hasn't he been talking about trying to get your damn chip on your body? Haven't you already seen that? So if you're seeing all the signs, and if you're seeing that with Joe's administration, okay, they are starting to get Fauci back and to get Bill Gates back, because that's what eventually it's going to end up happening, and move forward with more vaccines. It's not going to just be this round of vaccines. They're going to be more vaccines. They've said it already. Go to whitehouse.gov and download that PDF with 100 and something pages, to throw you off, because that's what they do. You know what I mean? And go find it where it says it's not going to end, and there will be more vaccines coming for the next round of viruses that are going to come. So look, I'm not going to waste my time doing these things, and especially with people that come in here, okay, and they still think we are going, oh no, because it's got to be it's got to be Republicans versus Democrats. We got to make this all political. The hell, you don't have time for that. You do not have time for that. Things are moving 100 miles an hour. The only thing that it really can save us, right? And I'm not going to say the military and everything. It's God, honestly. It starts with God. It starts with repenting, because I believe that, if not even the military wakes up to this, okay? Let's say, for instance, then it's biblical. I'm going to take it like as, you know what? Oh, shoot, we're already in the end of time somewhere. The mark of the beast is coming, and the Antichrist is rising up and has gained so much power now that, it's our time for persecution. That's honestly what I'm going to tell you. It's persecution time, guys. They're going to go after the church. They're going to go after every believer. And it's biblical. You know, the only thing that we've been told is while all this happens, we cannot take the mark of the beast. You understand? That is the only thing that God has ordered every single Christian, every believer in Christ. You will not take the mark of the beast in any form. So I'm sorry. It says it right there on the verse. Some people will not be able to eat. You know what I mean? It says it right there. Look, and I'm not messing with you or anything. It's biblical. Go see Revelation 13, 16, 18. You know what I mean? So that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. Okay? But this, it says the right hand or the forehead. All right. Where can we find this already been talked about? Okay. Right hand or the forehead or the forehead. Who's talked about this already? Bill Gates, right? We have so many other scientists, crazy scientists. Now you guys are praising science. Now, if science is talking about doing all this and putting all this on your skin and injecting you with all these, all these chips and everything, then they're working for the devil. They're not working for God. I'm sorry. They're not. You know, it's biblical. I'm not making it up. Okay? So this is not the time to argue with your brother and sister. There's got to be unity, because when there's unity, God knows it. Okay? The thing is that the other people need to wake up. That's why, please, be courteous to others that are still lost and confused. They are the ones who are confused. We're going by the scriptures. We're going because God is revealing what's really happening right now in this time. And what this gentleman said right now, you know what I'm saying? Military, ex-former military. I think he was airborne in the Air Force, right? I believe. What he was explaining was just very, very deep, honestly. And the truth, nothing but the truth. I was listening to every single thing he was saying about, how this whole thing started all the way from our the federal banks, our bank systems connected to the Rothschilds and all that stuff. And I've been digging in already, and I'm shocked on a lot of things that I'm starting to discover. You know what I mean? And the secret societies are real. It's all connected. It's a whole organization. It's been here for years, except their plan has been to, the devil wants to, captivate the entire world, the entire planet, you know what I mean? And control humanity. And it's biblical. So, he wants to take as many souls as he can with him. Because remember, not only is this a battle that we're going through here, it's a spiritual battle between God and also, right, good and evil. God versus Satan, because Satan wants, what does he want? What does he want? He wants as many souls, right? He wants as many souls, as he can take, with him to hell. So honestly, this is what's really happening right here. And we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. This is crazy. But it's the truth. There's nothing else I can tell you guys on it. But anyways, I will upload. Yeah, there you go, Francis. We have people that have known this for many, many years. Look, I've heard of this stuff, but I've never gone so deep in it. And now with this pandemic, I had the opportunity to search more, and I keep researching more. So there's people that have been called conspiracy theorists, you know what I mean? All these kind of names, because they had already known. God had probably already showed them first, you know what I mean, than us, or most of us, because they researched, they allowed God to, give them the truth. And this is the whole truth. Now, I don't care. Right now, you can't call that what we're going through a conspiracy theory, because this is real. Okay? This is real. A pandemic, okay? Jamming the economy system is a little kind of weird, because never has it happened. And also the pandemic, also closing the doors of your church. I don't know. I've never seen it in history. Okay. I've never seen it in history. I've seen pandemics, but I have not seen what they did with this year. I've been trying to search throughout history. Okay. So It's been talked about by the Rockefellers as well. Remember, they did lockstep scenario. So if you read through that, it's very similar. All of that is all connected. It's all been a plan, and we are the ones being fooled. We are the fools here. Understand, we are the fools. We are the fools. Okay? Not until we start waking up. So I pray that our military opens up their eyes, does their own research, all right? Because honestly, it's like him. He was calling them out, and I'm telling them, like, guys, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Look, we've lost so much military, guys, for worthless wars, not unnecessary wars. Okay? Unnecessary wars. Your family member, someone, our troops killed, you know what I mean? This is just sad, beyond sad. And I can't comprehend this, you know what I mean? I imagine, and for those of you who watch this video, it's probably saddened because you've had family who served in the military and was probably there, you know what I mean, in Bush administrations, or they were there or something like that. What happened in 9/11 also, come on, guys. Wow. Unnecessary wars, having our troops killed. It bothers me. It makes me angry. It makes me angry. So, but the thing is here is that, as I was telling all my followers, all right, and they already know in this page, it's like, we are not afraid of the enemy. You know what I mean? We know what's going on. God is opening up eyes. And the thing is that we cannot do this battle ourselves. That's the thing. We need to rely on God. We need to pray to our Lord God. We need to have unity. And actually, these are the times where you want to say, Lord, I'm sorry for everything I've done. You know what I mean? We have a chance to reconcile, just repent from our sins and say, God, Lord, you know what I mean? These are the terrible times we're living in, and more, I see it, more is going to come. But I know that if you're with me, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get through this. I will get through this. Everyone will get through this. So unity is the key. Prayer is another one. The revival of the churches, the pastors, I already said it. Pastors need to start preaching the truth, guys. Pastors need to pick up their Bible. You know what I mean? Forget your big old buildings of churches. You know what I mean? I've seen pastors outside in the street starting to preach. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see. We don't have to look. None of that stuff is going to go with you. Okay, money's not going to go. Look, that's paper money. That's fake money. Fake money. We've been on a contract. We've been slaves. We've been slaves. America's been under corporations. That's what it's been run under contracts. This is sad. No wonder they don't want to pay attention. No wonder nothing's been done with our Constitution doesn't mean anything. We've been bought off, and honestly, that's sold out, and we've been in debt as well. Here we have these trillionaire families who own us. Wow. Now China's owning the whole entire country. It's, Christy, the military is doing theirs already. We aren't hearing it, but now that's why military, DC and military. Okay, I understand that. But look, I don't want to tell any of my followers this is what's going to happen in March 4th. You're going to see this, because that's the same thing. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is the same thing they said about the inauguration day. Okay. On January the 20th. Okay. They said the same thing. This was going to happen. This was going to happen. Look, I'm not saying it cannot happen. What I'm trying to tell you is that we should ask more God, that, more than anything, ask God to make something happen here. Okay. That this is what I'm telling you. Okay. I cannot clarify you. They're going to do it on March the 4th. I cannot clarify you are going to look. We cannot clarify nothing. We are not fortune tellers here, and we are not. Something can go wrong. Anything can go wrong. All right. Not everything we think is going to be done is actually going to happen. And then when you don't see it happen, what then next? All right. That's why you prepare yourself and you see it before it's going to come. If it doesn't happen that way, then you already know what's coming, and you already know, you prepare your family and you prepare yourselves. Okay. A lot of people have a problem with that. And I just say, you look, guys, I'm not going to tell, you know, if God put me in this page and I'm going to tell you guys, look, March the 4th, they're going to do this and President Trump's coming back and everything's going to get fixed up. Is it going to be that easy? After everything this guy said right now and showed us, do you think it's going to be very easy? It's easy. It's just easy as just a plan and that's it. And everybody knows the date. I don't think so, guys. You know, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be that easy, you know? So, with that being said, my recommendation is, you know, more prayer, revival, and ask God to take care of it for us. He will know the time and the date. That's the thing. If we don't rely on that and we rely on men, we're going to fail. We're going to fail this one, guys. We're going to fail it. We're all going to fail it. And this is for all believers. I don't care if you're left or right. I don't care if you're brown, green, blue, black, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know. This is not about, this has nothing to do. This is serious stuff. You know what I mean? This is very serious. It's a serious matter because this is what's really happening. And I know that. I've done my research and I had to comprehend yet. Like I was like, why, God, why is it that these people, how do they organize themselves? And look, I stumbled upon secret societies and many things. And I said, wow, I got one of them buildings down here in the city. I think everybody has one of those buildings here in the city, in every city, in every parts of the world. The corruption, this connection, these people swear oaths to the devil. It's all over the world, not just the country, but it's been here in this country like, wow, like I've never seen it before. The corruption has been, the magnitude of the corruption of darkness is way beyond, you know, way beyond whatever I imagined. You know, I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's insane. So don't put your trust in man one more time. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not telling you that's going to happen March the 4th, by the way, make it clear. All right. I'm just trying to tell you, all right, trust in God in this, you know, in these times. Like this video showed us a lot because that's the way it's organized. This is the way it's happening. The New World Order is not fake. It's been talked all the way, you know, since Reagan. You know, we already heard John F. Kennedy. We heard Trump. He was the last one to mention it and call them out and say, look, this is what's happening. President Trump said it. He called the fake news and everything, said, look, this is what's really happening in America. Wake up. That's all he did. Look, now the people that hate Trump, he's not in office. Now look what's happening. It's matching this whole New World Order plan. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing all these executive orders coming out and there's still more. So everybody's going to see more. Okay. I will post the link. All right. The link has been posted, guys, on the bottom. And yes, they're going to take it down. You guys know that it's not going to survive here. So if you follow me on YouTube, you will get it. Go to my website, Frank the Tank, DATANK, all right, 915.com. If you cannot find the link anywhere, I mean, Christy was the one who posted it. So if she posted it, it's somewhere in there. If you can't find it, I'm still going to post it on my website and I'll post it there because there's great information there. And it's an eye opener. It should pretty much, you know, it should be an eye opener for any person, any person. I don't care what, you know, it's for any person should really do their, you know, the research on this. Okay. I don't care what your you know, what your side is or what side, your left, your right, whatever it is. I don't care. I said it. Don't bring it up anymore. You know, don't start talking about, you know, because when I hear that word Democrats and all demon and crats and everything, look, guys, I already understand that they're using, okay, they're hijacking because we had real back then we had great Democrats. You know, I say John F. Kennedy was a great Democrat. We did have a great Democrat party. Unfortunately, they used the Democrat party. They used them to hijack them because that's the only, they weren't going to be able to do it with the Republicans. Maybe, I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe they were going to have a hard time. But look, we did see the corruption on both sides. The corruption was on both sides. We had Republicans that betrayed our president. Remember that. Don't forget that. Okay? So this is an organization. It's a massive thing. Don't look at the political side of it. It seems to me like everything's been bought off and has been well organized. No matter how hard you go on voting, it's still not going to change anything unless the good old Lord God changes everything for us. That's what I'm going to tell you at this point. I don't care how much money we want to pump, but after listening to this man, it makes totally sense. You know what I mean? It makes so much sense. Our only hope for many people is our military, right? To take care of business the way they should. I mean, to bring justice, since not even our Supreme Courts can do any justice. You know? And held all these criminals accountable for what they've done. For the they've committed treason. But it's because the people don't know that they are connected to the New World Order. They don't know they're connected into Freemasonry. They don't know they're connected to all this stuff. That's the problem. That's where it starts. That's why people need to make do their research and then start digging it. And whatever he said today, I'm gonna watch that video again, because there's a lot of things that he's going through, which most of them I already heard about, but I have not digged so deep in it yet. But regardless of whether I get it at the end and I get what he's completely what he's talking about and saying, because I know, I did listen to him, and I picked up a lot of things already that I already know about. But there is still a few things that I still need to bring up and say, you know what? To understand really what's happening, not to tell you guys, oh, you know what, this is going to happen, or I'm predicting this is going to happen just because this is the way I'm finding the answers to, it's just, you're not gonna, no matter how hard you're going to try to do this yourself, and plan that you're going to be able to save the world, you're not going to do it. I don't care who it is, how big, what's your power, money. If God, okay, has this already in scriptures, and this is scriptural. This is just I want to bring this point out. If it's scriptural that it has to happen, it's going to happen, whether we want to or not. And if it does start happening and we don't see these changes that everybody's hoping for, okay, the only thing I can think of is this. Number one, people did not turn to God, okay? Secondly, okay, it's time, the Antichrist and what the Bible says, it's going to come in place. The mark of the beast is coming. Let's get ready for it. Those are the only two things I can point out to you guys, and like I said, what's more important right now than anything is your faith with God. It's basically, and having everybody on the same page, because when we start bashing people and they come here and we start calling them names, it's all your fault, you Democrats and everything. Remember, John F. Kennedy was a Democrat also. All right. And it came out of his mouth to warn us about what they were doing. Okay. It's just that nobody wanted to pay attention, right? He got assassinated and that was it. Some people did, though. Some people started going hard and saying, you know what, we're not going to accept this assassination. And they've been fighting till today. You understand? So, guys, be courteous too. Right now, it's not the time to fight with your neighbors. It's not the time to fight with your brothers and sisters. Honestly, right now is the time to come together. Where we got to say, look, it's not about politics. Remove that crap right now. Remove all that junk, because eventually politics is already contaminated. It's already hijacked. Aren't you listening? It's already run. As soon as you come in as a politician, they're already telling you what the rules are. Welcome to the corporation. These are the rules. You want to get paid? You do what we tell you. You're not going to do what we tell you. Maybe there's going to be consequences. How do you know what they tell them in there? All right? I'm going to take some of your comments. D-Mac, what's up? They refuse to believe their Dems. Oops. They refuse to believe their Dems are infiltrated, groomed to hate conservatives, call the conservative racist, white nationalists, Nazis, and supremacists, and they are not. Yeah, yeah, you're totally right, my friend. You're totally right. Jim, but Frank, the Democrats and most of the Republicans of today have sold out Americans. Yes, they are. That's why right now at this point, I cannot say, I told you guys, like I've seen it, and whichever nut hit, it's still like, I have a few nut hits here and I understand that. Some of them are already part of this whole, the devil plan, you know what I mean? So they're going to be here. They're going to be bugging, like, just ignore them. You know what I mean? They're not going to get it no matter what you tell them. You know what I'm saying? But why? Why are they not going to get it? Because simply they don't want it. They don't choose to want to do their homework. If I'm telling you, all right, that it's not about Democrats and Republicans at this point, that we've seen a lot of our president's supporters have seen the corruption from both sides. Not because, we saw it with our own eyes. We saw it happen. You know what I mean? They can understand what's really happening here. Then okay, you know what I mean? They got their freedom of speech. You know why? You know why? Because we got to set the example first. All right? Because as a moderator, I could just go ahead and ban whoever I want to from this page, and they're gone. That's it. But you know what? As long as they're respecting people in here and they're not cussing them out or doing anything, then they got their own freedom of speech here. They can say whatever they want. That's why I do this, because I want to set the example, that of what freedom of speech should be. You know what I mean? It should be, and it should be in everywhere. It should be in any platform, anything. Okay? It doesn't matter what you believe in or what is it. You still, no matter what in America, we have freedom of speech. Right? We should have it. So if somebody starts saying otherwise, no, this is what I think, or this is what I know, okay, great. It's your freedom of speech. Okay? But if I want to act like, I'm going to tell you, if I'm going to act a certain different way and say, you know what, just because I don't like the way, because I don't want you to tell I don't want my followers to find out something that they might not, that doesn't go with whatever I'm talking about. And I start banning you, you're going to say, I don't have freedom of speech here, right? You're going to be upset. You're going to be upset. And that's the only reason why I let all these people out there, because mostly they're the ones who need this. They need to know the truth, honestly. As an owner of this page, I can ban you right now if I wanted to, and you're gone. Simple as that. Boom. You know what I mean? But you know why I don't do it? Because this is what we're going through. This is what you need to learn. You need to learn that you need to live in a country where you have your full rights, where you have your full freedom of speech, where you have whatever you desire, any church you want to go to, any religion, atheist, whatever you want to believe. This has been a country that's been founded on freedom. It's been freedom from the very start. And if you don't get what these globalists and their agendas are trying to do to your own country, then seriously, man, I think, honestly, you have a real big problem. So Frank, with with God, all things are possible. Amen. And I'm just being real. Okay. I'm just being realistic about everything. You know what I mean? I'm not going to come here. I'm here because I want to seek truth with the rest of the followers that I have here. I'm not here trying to waste my time or trying to make money out of anything, because when in the world have I asked anybody for a freaking dime here? Right? I haven't. What do you think? I'm doing this page just to, glorify myself or something? No, I conversate with my followers because we want to communicate. You know what big tech does? They disrupt our communication. They take that away. If so much, all right? If so much, what the other people, all the haters talk about is so real, then why aren't they letting us speak? Why don't they let us share truth? Why don't they let us? You know what? Because it is truth. It is true. And just because, they feel like it, and they know that they cannot let others see the truth, they'll just eventually fact check everything. As soon as I'm done with this video, you know what's going to happen. They're going to take it down. You guys already know that. So you're like, where can I get the link to this video? I understand that. And it is there somewhere. And I'm going to put it on the website. I'll put it on my YouTube. Follow me on the website. It'll be there. If you can't find it on Rumble for some reason. Can you believe that? Rumble. We have to make other applications here. You know what I mean? We have to get, we've lost so many great speakers here, great patriots, you know what I mean? Trying to, share some truth on social media, Twitter and everything, and they get deleted. They cap our audiences when we go live. You know what I mean? And so just get out of here with telling me that, those people that come in here and start talking trash, get out of here. I'm giving you freedom of speech. Go ahead and say what you got to say. Just be respectful. Bring good, valid points to this thing. Are you happy? Are you getting, are you okay with everything that's happening right now? Are you okay with getting vaccinated? Be real about it. All right? Are you okay with being forced to be vaccinated? So, what we got to understand something is that we got to understand that as much as sometimes I can tell you, I tell God himself, and I'm just like, God, I wish, I want to, I need to be patient about things, I wish I could, give people a straight answer. I wish I could open up people's eyes, but I cannot force them to open up their eyes. I could just be myself and just let them know, look, I'm doing this not to glorify myself. I'm here I'm not saying it's a waste of time. It's a valuable time because actually I am, doing something if I can even open one eye up, okay, that's great. All right. That's honestly great because honestly, it's about freedom and liberty. That's all it is. I don't care you're red or blue. I can care less. You're welcome in this page. Treat others with respect. Just, don't cuss. As a matter of fact, you can come in live with me. If you have something, we can go face to face. Would you like that? Go ahead and send me a message and I'll bring you right here in front of everybody and we can have a nice civil conversation, about things. And tell me why you feel the way you feel, And I will tell you the way I feel, but it's not going to matter. The feelings are really not going to matter. The facts are what's going to matter right now. Facts are what's going to matter. And what's really happening around the entire globe. Look, to the friends that come into this page as well that don't like our president or whatever it is, that, never liked them or whatever. Okay, it's all good. It's all good, but look at the facts. Look at the facts. Look at the facts and dig in deep of what has been done and accomplished. It's about, honestly, right now at this point with this video and more that I already know, it's about freedom. Right now, you and me and the haters, including them, we're slaves. We are slaves. Let me repeat that to you again. We're all slaves. We're slaves to these corporations. Corporate America. Wow. Welcome to corporate America. Unbelievable. No, God's here to help us, guys. No ships, no army. I believe God is here to help us, honestly. You know what I mean? He's here to help us. He's going to help us. The thing is that my job is to bring a revival where the demons are really going to really be trembling. And that's through God, prayer, and starting, and building up a community all over the world, all over the globe. That's why we have a lot of people from Nigeria here, from Africa, from England, we have so many people around from the UK, from Canada. They're watching. We have so many people all over the world, not just America. because they know the truth as well. They've shared it with everybody. Those who follow me already have seen some live videos already. You know, they've seen them. They talk. They come in here. All over the world, not just America. So I'm not going to give you guys false information. This was a great video, by the way. I really appreciate my friend. Hold on a second. Christy, I'm sorry. Christy for allowing us to watch this video. I mean, for actually, I watched it and I was like, wow, this is really great information. And I think this is what people need to wake up about. Look, right now, the agendas of the globalists are pretty much working through, you know, the administration that is right now in charge. And honestly, that's really what's happening, and what's going to come is worse than what we think. They're going to try to enslave everybody, and they're going to try to get you guys to pretty much submit to government rules, and then new policies come in, and you know, it's like it's corporate America. Honestly, what I'm receiving right now, we've been sold, and we need to, you know, we need to ask God to give us back our freedom and our liberties. You know what I mean? And that's basically, we need the revival. We need the pastors to start preaching against these lies of the devil. When in the world did the Bible say you cannot heal from a sickness? When in the world did the Bible said, okay, what page does it say, okay, that a vaccine is going to cure the diseases and every sickness, every illness that you have? Where does it say that science is going to heal everything that you have? Where? Show me. When it says it, I will believe it. But since it doesn't say it, and I disbelieve, that's why I will not take science over God's word. Period. Science is promoting, you know, your digital, your mark of the beast. That's what it's doing. Bill Gates is on it, you know? Oh, Bill Gates is on it. He wants it under your skin. Don't forget. Is it biblical? Oh, yeah, it's very biblical. Watch the signs because they're all over. The only thing you already had warned about in the Bible, the most important thing in these hard times that you were warned about is not to take the mark of the beast. You were warned, and I'm warning you right now. So no matter what you got to do, it says it. Some people will not be able to buy, eat, or work. It's biblical. It's there. What do you want me to tell you? Did we kick out all the rest of the devils that didn't want to stay? I think they're all gone, right? Look, guys, you guys are blessed. The rest of all of you guys are really blessed because, you know, the Lord is opening up your eyes in these difficult times. Not everybody's going to get that chance. You're not going to take the mark of the beast, and you know that because, you know, the Lord he has what's coming for his children. He does. But when the children are not going to do what God has ordered them to do, then it's going to be a problem. I mean, they're not going to have another chance. I believe that. It's scriptural. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? It's not my word. It's God's word. I believe this applies to believers. Joanna, what's fake science? Joshua, apricot kernels fights cancer. Yes, I've seen so many. I've done my research on that, but you know, I've seen it. And not only that, I've met many testimonials on it. Okay, on different platforms on it, and I've come to know that that's pretty much helped a lot of people with cancer, and they haven't taken any chemo and all that kind of stuff. So, see, here's the thing: for healing, God gave us his word. He said, he gave us herbs. He says, do not boast, do not eat, do not overeat, do not start focusing your mind on food all the time. I'm fasting. This is the second day of fasting and eating, okay, like more than vegan, actually Dr. Sebi's diet. That's kind of like what I'm doing right now, okay? Just water, okay, sea moss and bladderwrack, okay, greens, okay, you guys seen, I've put them on my story, what I'm doing right now, and I've only had one single meal and that's it. I'm going to go to sleep after this, that's it. Okay, second day. Am I going to tell you it's easy? No, you start feeling like the devil attacks you because he's like, oh, you're weak. You need to eat. You need to eat more. You need to grab some candy. You need to get some sugar. Your sugar's going to go low. Look, I already went 30 days of it. All right, with my wife. I lost 23 pounds, so it's not new to me. But I'm going to do it. I weighed myself also because I gained a few pounds because on the weekends, I was eating like whatever, and you eat your GMOs and you start eating more and more and more and you gain the weight, period, right? I said, I need a detox. So I told you guys I was going to start Monday and I'm here Monday. Look, what am I drinking? Water. I'm not drinking orange juice. I'm not drinking sodas. I'm not drinking Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking none of that stuff. Okay. Water, sea moss and bladderwrack, greens. Okay. Greens, as well as my meals, right? Rice, potatoes, no meats, no dairies, no cheese, no candy, no artificial sugar. Okay. I don't cook with that greasy, oil. You know what I mean? I do grapefruit seed oil if I need to put a little bit of oil. Okay. And if I need the sugar, where do I get the sugar? That's what the fruits are for. Natural sugar. Okay. Pineapple. Okay. Pineapple. I got beets. I got, I'm eating natural, what the Lord, provided for us to eat. 6 days of detox and prayer. And also, we got to read the scripture. You're going to see, I'm going to get back on that weight. And those 6 days, you're going to see some weight drop from my, I videotaped it. I have it. I have it on my phone. It's recorded. And I have the date. I say the date on it, Monday, which was what? The 25th, I believe, right? So the thing is that you guys have to have faith and, we have to have our connection with God, because when you do that, you're already sacrificing you don't care about your body. You're not worrying about what you're going to be eating all the time, what you're going to be doing. You're more concentrated. You're fresh. You're trying to look up for information. God is going to give it to you. He's going to give you the wisdom. Without him, we're nothing. Look up stinging nettle. You can't forge for it. I will, Joanna. Water here. Amen. I substituted all my stuff, guys. I don't drink the milk that everybody drinks. I don't eat the Cheerios, okay? I'm going to tell you, I've substituted a lot of things from my foods, the regular foods that everybody eats. I don't wake up eating breakfast. I don't wake up eating eggs. I don't wake up, drinking a whole big glass of milk. I don't wake up, I just don't do that. I'm sorry. I wake up, all right? I shower, I pray, okay? I pretty much start my green. I blend my, all my greens, my apples, green apples, kale, spinach, all that good stuff, ginger, turmeric. I put it on a blender. I take it. You know what I'm saying? And I start preparing my meals. This 6-day detox you're going to see. Because I got to do it because, people do not understand that everybody's all crying about this, I'm losing, I'm getting sick. Oh, I lost a family member. I'm like, pay attention. God wants to save you. God wants to heal you, but you're the ignorant. You're the one who does not want to heal. How in the world can God help you when you don't want to even look for the help? You're not asking him for his help. When you ask him for the help, he's going to guide you. He's putting people in front of you to tell you, your body's the temple. If you're right now in a serious bad health condition, and you have underlying conditions, and the doctor clearly tells you, you need to work on a diet. Because if not, I'm going to have to put you on this medication. Telling you already, giving you the secret of life, telling you. He's not lying to you when he says that. All right? If he tells you first you need to get on a diet, you need to cut what you're doing, that means you need to get serious. And it's biblical to do it. Don't boast, don't eat. You know what I mean? Cut that habit off. You know what I mean? Get rid of that habit. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to get? You're going to say, Frank, how? Okay, let me explain to you. When you drink a soda, when you eat a pizza, when you eat all this garbage that's out there, artificial stuff, artificial sugars, guess what your body does? You eat one pizza. You think you're going to eat one slice of pizza? I've said this before. Your appetite grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and you keep eating and eating and eating, and you cannot stop eating. That is because it's not your fault. I'm here to tell you, it's not your fault. It's the foods that you're eating. All right? That is making your appetite, the GMOs in that food that is opening up your hunger, and you can't control it. You can't. You can't control it. So you keep eating, and then you get diabetes. Then we have a problem with diabetes. And then we get we have a problem with cancer. We keep using our microwaves instead of cooking natural foods. Guys, it's not God's fault. It's never been God's fault. The thing is that God gave us all the answers. All the answers, but it's us. Because we don't dig. We don't research. I'm telling you, all those people that are making fun and have been making fun of our president and tell us all you Trumpers and you know, I see them sick. They're the ones who are dying in the hospital. They're the ones who are dying in the hospital. It's sad, but it's true. I've seen so many, they're dying. And then they ask, well, why are these people not? Why? Because you know what? The Bible. Here it is. Look, it's not because, it's because of this. Because we believe. We believe in God. We believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. We believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. And you know, we believe in the power of prayer, healing, and we believe that Lord is going to bring us, he's going to put in our minds what we need to do. He will, he works in weird ways, guys. You know, you can be hearing this conversation right now, this live, and it might be speaking to your soul and your ears, and you might be saying, you know what? Thank you. God bless this. You know what I mean? This message. You can hear from somebody else. You can hear from so many others, and that's when you know God is speaking through you. That's when you know. You know what I mean? I put it to the test, guys. I remember at times where I didn't have I needed another job, right? I was looking for another job, and I would say, God, please, you know my necessity. Open the doors, open anything. You know, you only know that I'm in need right now. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I trust and I have faith that you're gonna open some doors, and I'll get a new job. I get a new this, and all of a sudden, a week would pass, and I hadn't gotten nothing. But then that one day, that phone call came through. Hey, I got your resume, and I'm really interested, and we're gonna offer you this and everything. Bam! I remembered when I went and I got the job. I was all happy. Oh yeah, let's I got so excited, and then I paused. And I remember that prayer. And I looked up and I said, God, that was you. Thank you, Lord. I give him the glory and the praise. So do not put your guard down, guys. Do not put your guard. Do not let the enemy take your lives. You are God's children. Everybody is. Even the haters in the page, that's fine. God created everybody. Okay. God created. Now the people that are possessed and demonized, that's, they already sold their souls to the devil. I am lucky to be speaking about it right now because I was going to commit suicide one day. Okay. So I'm still alive, and this is what I think God wanted me to do. Okay. It's not so much that I wanted to come here live on camera and spend hours and hours here talking to people. That's not, look, I can enjoy my quality time with my wife. I can do a lot of other things. I can get this camera and maybe make some music videos. I don't know. I can do just so many things, but God wanted me to do this. And I cannot say no. It's like the itch of always telling me like this, do it, Frank. And I'm like, oh my God, Lord, you know, what else can I say? Do it. Do it. Haven't I done this for you? I say, yes, Lord. I got to say yes to my boss. Trump said, our president said, Jesus is my boss. He is the boss. Okay? Without him, he is the boss. And you know, I'm here to tell you, Jesus is the boss. So if he's the boss, then we got to wake up and we got to get our revival started. Amen? Can everybody say amen to that? I'm not a preacher to tell you. I'm just telling you I'm doing what God wants me to do. Sometimes I ask myself, what am I doing here? And then the Lord, I even, you know, I tell my wife, I'm like, I don't know. I just, you know, should I, you know, sometimes I feel like I should just get out, but no, I just keep hearing that voice that go back, go back. And I have something new for you. I said, all right, Lord. Build communication with a lot of people all over the world. I said, okay, God. You know, it's not easy, but it's just the love that you have for your God, you know what I mean, that keeps you, you know, going. And I've learned that, guys. I've learned that. My past has not been pretty roses, you know? It has not. Have a blessed night, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I will upload it to YouTube. I will upload it to my website. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. I'm talking to everybody, even the people that hate this page. It's all good. You know, Jesus loves you, as a matter of fact. I got to say it. He loves everybody. Doesn't matter. If you made mistakes, if you feel like you've done the wrong thing in this world, you know, always know that God is there with open arms. He doesn't care what you've done. Doesn't matter. It could be a betrayer. It could be even anyone. You know, it could be even the traitors can still repent and find grace in God. You know? So, with that being said, have a good night, guys. My time is up. Love you. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.